So today we have brought in our elders to answer the most Googled questions about old people.
Okay.
That's gonna be interesting.
Well, I'm very well qualified to do this, so let's go.
Why do old people shake? As you get older, you know, your body changes.
They're nervous? Obviously.
Most old people I know don't shake, so I don't know.
If they're cold and if they're really excited, I'm going to be shaking next week because I'm going to see Robert Plant, so I will be all a tingle all over.
As you get older, your blood circulation is different.
Or they're actually hear music and they're dancing.
You never know, guys.
You never know.
Why do old people sleep so much? Well, maybe because they're bored.
They're tired.
That sounds wonderful, because one of my problems is I don't sleep as much as I used to.
As you age, you don't exercise as much as you used to. You're not as active as you used to.
With all the aches and pains that I've got at this age, it gives them a chance to heal. It really is. It's your healing time.
Yes.
You got to remember, we've been around and our bodies have been around for like 70 years or more. So we wear out and get tired easier.
I told my wife, I said, now I understand what RIP mean, rest in peace mean, because when you're dead, you can sleep forever.
Why do old people get mean? Well, because they're old and they don't have a lot of time left and they're mad about it.
Wait a minute, I'm not mean.
I think people get more whatever they are. If they were mean when they were young, maybe they were meaner.
I try not to be mean, but sometimes it's fun.
I think it's miscommunication, a lot of them, because like, for instance, the world's moving so fast in technology and digital world, and we were just not able to catch up.
Some get mean because they're lonely, their life has changed, their children have gotten older, they've moved on, they've got their own lives.
They're tired of being nice and trying to tiptoe around certain stupid things that people say to them, and that is perceived as mean, but it's really old people honesty.
Why do old people fart so much? Maybe they eat too many beans?
Why do they use the word fart? Why not break wind?
I'll tell you one thing that can happen. Your hearing gets worse. You don't hear yourself fart.
I happen to be an expert on this subject.
Tell me, Mark.
And that's why we're 6 feet apart. No.
We get great pleasure in doing that sometimes, and just letting it rip.
Hey, there's nothing holding me back.
Look, I'm tired of holding it in.
Yeah, why?
Let it rip, Gary.
Our bodies are older, they're getting more worn out. We don't digest food the way we used to.
It's nature at this point in our life. Hey, let it rip. That's what I say. Why do old people get cold? Yeah, I think it's the body is changing. Could be the medications. I don't have that problem. If anything, I tend to stay warm.
I don't know because I am hot.
Yeah, you are.
Circulation is not as good.
And being cold by temperature, not insensitive. It could be. You know what? And I'm looking at it from that perspective. There are certain things that used to get me much more emotionally reacting. And at this point, it's like, that's life. Deal with it.
Why do old people stink?
Shrink.
Oh, okay, shrink.
As you get older, your spine compresses. So I've lost a ½ inch in height since when I was young.
Why do old people shrink? Because the space between the spine gets smaller.
I used to be 5'2", almost 5'3", and I'm 5'1". Your bones change.
Gravity is pulling down like it is on your face and all the and everyone shrinks.
Why do old people bruise easily? Well, stop beating the guy.
Old people's skin gets thinner, so you bruise more easily. And I'm wondering if maybe it's a lack of total mobility so that you hit things and bump things more easy, or vision problems, or balance problems.
I look at my legs, which were, one-point model's legs, and now they're Model T's legs, because, oh my God, I've got bruises that, like where the blood vessels broke from 10 years ago.
My dermatologist said, decades and decades of sun, and the skin gets thinner. So you barely touch something and you have a bruise, which I hate. Why do old people cough so much? I have no idea. Do old people cough so much?
I'm not sure about that one. Had nothing to do with smoking anymore.
I gave up cigarettes about 7 years ago. It could be that.
We have that drip going all the time, it seems to be. Even when you're not sick, there always seems to be a little of something going down and catching in your throat.
I really think a lot of it's because we don't get up and move around enough so that we breathe better and deeper and rid our lungs of all that junk.
Or when you're just correcting so, excuse me, you didn't really say that, did you? Oh, yeah, that's not right.
Why do old people fall? As I've gotten older, I had to get rid of a lot of my throw rugs because I tripped.
That's an easy. Your balance is worse. Unless you work at it.
As I got older too, I noticed that my balance is not as strong as it used to be.
Maybe because they had one too many drinks.
You know, you used to be able to catch yourself, and now all of a sudden it becomes this, you know, like $6 Million Man. Same thing, you go to fall, it's, I have to catch myself, but I can't anymore, and you're down.
Why do old people drive so? Because we become very cautious. I'm probably one of them.
Guilty. There you go.
You can't hear, you can't see as clearly. I guess they just drive slow because they feel safer that way.
Your mental capacity changes. You don't think as quickly as you used to.
I'll get behind someone and I'll sit there and say, what are you doing? Get off the freeway at 45 miles an hour. Oh my God. And then I think, wait, you're going to be them soon.
All right, now since we lovingly refer to you all here as our elders,
Yeah.
I also decided to reframe the question a little bit. So
Okay.
this is,
Oh.
why do elders?
Why do elders deserve respect? Really?
Because we lived a long time.
I disagree with that. I mean, I agree and disagree. For me, respect is always earned. It's always earned. Young or old, it's earned.
What we've experienced, what we've gone through, we can share with others who are younger than we are and just benefit.
Just for longevity and stick to it. We've made it this far. That, you know, you don't know how hard it is till you do it.
Here it is again. Why do elders fall?
Because of your balance gets worse.
Maybe they're on their phones too much. I see so many elders walking and tweeting and doing stuff. No, I don't, because we're old and we just don't have good balance or we've had too many margaritas.
This is a little more serious here. Why do elders not report abuse? Because it's really scary to feel helpless.
They're isolated. They're scared.
They're afraid. People won't believe them. They don't want to be burdened, so they're just going to take it.
You're scared to report because, especially our generation, the women, we grew up, we were always the victim, even if something was done to us. We were always the victim and we were not supposed to speak up about anything.
Why do elderly stop eating? Because they're stupid. It's one of the great joys in old age.
I have no idea. I love to eat.
I still eat quite a bit. It's just that I don't stop eating, but I do change what I eat.
I do know that a lot of older people eat less, but I hope that never happens because I love eating.
Yeah, why elders sleep so much? It's the aging process. They're tired or they don't get enough exercise.
You know, we don't sleep that much. We sleep often.
You might doze off, but as you get older, you don't sleep a lot like you used to, not unless you're getting ill or something like that.
Why do elderly get UTI? They don't drink enough water, a lot of them. Things just don't work as well down there.
Their bladder is changing. And if you're a woman, if you've had children, your muscles change and your muscles are not tight like they used to. If I laugh too much, I go, wait a minute, hold on now.
Everybody gets UTIs. In fact, I used to get UTIs when I was young. I haven't gotten one in years. I don't know.
Why do elderly die from broken bones? The only thing I can think of if they break a leg or break their back or whatever, and they're sedentary and they're not able to move.
It's not the broken bone that they die from. They break a bone and then they go to the hospital and then they don't move and.
Well, we don't have as good balance, and again, those margaritas, you just, damn it. But then broken bones don't hurt as much. Tequila's great for broken bones. Why do elderly poop their pants? They just don't quite get to the bathroom on time. You lose muscle control maybe as you get older.
Maybe in 20 years I can answer that better,
Because I was telling them jokes. And they couldn't stand how funny it was, so they themselves.
Now that you've had the chance to answer the most Googled questions about your generation, what do you want to say to the younger generations of people who are asking these questions?
Your turn will come.
Enjoy every day that you have with your grandmother or your mother or your dad. They have stories to tell you.
Enjoy life, but don't hurt people, and try not to hurt the earth, because we screwed it up, my generation. Show respect for yourself, show respect for your friends and family, and show respect for the earth. And enjoy the hell out of it, because it's a great ride.
Thanks for watching this episode.
Do you have other questions for us? Let us know in the comments.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Bye.
When you're younger, so I'm going on a date, I better not eat the beans, I better not have the chili. And then you get older, you say, this I can go tomorrow. I'm eating it, deal with it, people.